Okay, so next to our house, the shelter's just behind over there, is the house that we're hoping to buy. We're currently using it at the moment rent-free, but as we've said in the text, they are wanting it to be sold. So that's why we're trying to raise money for it. But this is going to be like the rehab house for scared dogs. This is a prime little example. This is Betty. She's only just come in. It's too much for her to go into the shelter, so we brought her into this area. It's a nice, quiet part of the shelter where she can get to know us without having to compete with other scary doggies. All right, good girl. So yeah, as you can see, she needs some rehab, so that's why she's in here. Good girl. Across here, we've also got Kitty. Kitty's quite a skitty kitty. And she's over here because, again, the shelter is just so overwhelming for her that it'd be much better for her to be in this quieter environment where we can do one-to-one without any competition from other dogs. The plan is that we will fence this whole area. So if we just go over here, this woodland here goes right down to where the education centre is going to be. So we will use this woodland for the dogs, and we're hoping to fence it all off so that they can all have a run around and a play. And as I say, any sanctuary dogs or any dogs that need more attention, more training, more quiet time to recover from trauma can come into this area. And here is the house where the volunteers are, and some of the dogs come in for rehab. Okay, so we're in the house now, and as it happens, little Annie's here, and Annie's famous because she came in and she was in such a horrendous state. She had really bad mange, she was malnourished, she was really petrified. So she was the first doggy, come here Annie, to appreciate life in the rehab house. And she loves it, she bosses the house. So it's 3-bedroomed. In here, Annie's been sleeping in here in this crate, which is also really good because it trains her for living in her forever home. And hi Dolly. We've got Dolly in the house who's actually living upstairs, but she's come down for the purpose of the video because she's a diva. But she's come over here because she is finding it really stressful in the shelter, and I've been quite concerned about her going on to her new home because she's reserved and she's going to live on a canal barge, aren't you, my love? So she's come over here, and it's really done her a lot of good as well because she's learned how to live in a home, she's learned how to be calm, and yeah, and she doesn't chew, which is good. Just a bit intense, aren't you, Dolly? Yes, we love you too. Thanks. Come on, Dolly Daydream, show us around the house. Across here is another bedroom, and then we have a crate downstairs as well. The plan is to make this into 2 apartments, so it's even better for the dogs having the rehab, especially if they're traumatised. So we're going to make like a kitchen area in here, there's a bathroom through here, and then going upstairs. Again, we've been using this as a rehab area. Ozzy, again, wasn't coping in the shelter. He was quite a scared puppy. So he's been living upstairs with Lucy. You've missed you, Lucy, don't make him with Annie. So again, crate training. We want him to be successful in a home, and he absolutely loves it. So that's also really nice. We've obviously got the kitchen area in here. And then there's a balcony where, I don't know how it's happened, but we've got some cats that have moved in. And they're currently living on the balcony. And then to the left, you can see my dad actually made a bridge there. So this is going to be the entrance to this house, this part of the house. And look at the views. Who would not want to volunteer here?
So in relation to where our shelter is and our house, the bungalow, everything, that's there. That's where we've been living there for nearly 10 years now. And then this is how close the house next door is. So it's just perfect for us. That's where we park the vans, obviously. Up there is where the horses are kept, above the vans there. This lane here is actually our property that we built this lane when we bought the house because it didn't used to have it. It used to have a track through a field. And as we walk down here, we'll walk past the forest that we mentioned earlier in the video. So we have parking here for the people that come, the volunteers and the staff that are here. Lucy's car there, it's Lucy's Land Rover, everything's Lucy's. This is Honda. And this forest here to the left of us, this is the forest that Emma pointed out earlier. So this runs now down. We'll walk down the lane here and then we'll go into the barn area, which is where we did the education days. This is where we intend making the permanent education centre. So where we are now is this is the entrance to the barn area and what will be the education centre. Up there is the shelter and our house. And here we go, we're walking here to the barn. If any of you saw the previous education video, about 6 weeks ago I think it was now, we had 20 children here this year, and the ABC language school that I was partnered with, they came along and they provided a really professional, really interesting, exciting education day for the children. And the whole thing is based around dog welfare primarily, although we do introduce them to the horses, the pigs, the chickens, so it's an animal welfare thing as well as just dogs. And it's all very rustic here. This is the barn that we will turn into a permanent education centre. It's rustic and we want to try and keep the rustic element of it. We're not going to make a fancy clinical classrooms. It will be a barn in the countryside where children can come, and I think that in itself provides an exciting venue for children. Upstairs is an area that it used to be a hay loft. Possibly in the future we could have like a bunk barn up there, because another thing that ABC Language School suggested was that they like to do outward bound days or weekends with the children. So we could have like a bunk barn here. If we just go left here, there's the area to my left, could be for camping. Just over there to Emma's, behind Emma there where there's an old threshing machine, we could put some toilet cubicles, potentially a shower in there. So it could be a perfect place for children to come, have a weekend or a couple of days as an education outward bound course based around dog or animal welfare. There's another area here to the right. I'll just move aside. These were the benches and things that we built for the children on the day. And again, it provided quite an exciting time for them, sat on the tyres and jumping around on the tyres. But inside here, it's quite a dark area, but we've not used this yet, but the plan would be to have like an indoor classroom, projector type room. And one thing that we have considered doing in the future are interactive courses, interactive programs, interactive activities for the children. And this would make an ideal indoor area where we could potentially do that type of thing. In time, all this land here, and including the forest that Emma mentioned earlier, we would like to fence it round. The idea being then that we could have a secure area where when the children are here, when we're doing education days, the dogs are secure, the children are secure. We can bring a number of dogs down here, they can mill around all day, be with the children. And also we build some agility exercise toys, or however you describe those things. We build them out of tyres and various things. We were also interested in providing training days for people who already have dogs, and hopefully in time we hope to increase the adoption rate in Bulgaria for the dogs. Dog ownership is quite a new thing in Bulgaria, and we would like to help people become more aware of the pleasure, the companionship that you can gain from having a dog. And if we can assist with the training, assist with the welfare, this is another plan that we've got for this area here.
The only way that we can make a lasting change in Bulgaria is to give ownership back to Bulgarian people of how to care for the dogs and how to train them. And the vision here is to make a long-lasting change for dogs in Bulgaria. Rehoming them abroad isn't the solution. Mass neutering and also education is the solution. So if we can bring people here, get them really excited and wanting to get involved and learn about how to look after dogs, it would make such a difference in the long term in Bulgaria. And that's our aim, isn't it, Annie? So that no dogs suffer like you did.
We'll just point out that Annie's got a forever home, and this is Friday afternoon when we're doing this video, and she's leaving the shelter first thing in the morning.
Yeah. And all of that has been possible because of the house next door. You know, she's really, really thrived being inside. She's gone from that scared, almost near to death dog to a really happy, friendly dog. And that's only because we've had this space to use. So I know times are tough now. You know, the cost of living and everything. If you could spare a small amount of change for us and help us to buy this centre, it really will be life changing for dogs in Bulgaria.